Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on kitchen color palettes.
You know those are everywhere right now.
Yeah, if you're even thinking about maybe like sprucing up your kitchen,
Yeah,
this is the place to be.
definitely.
We found this really great article
Yeah,
that breaks down all the hottest trends, and we're going to explore each one. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll know exactly which color palette is perfect for your kitchen.
that's the goal, right? To make those decisions easier.
Exactly.
Colors are powerful,
So powerful, and they can totally like transform a space.
especially the kitchen, I feel like,
Especially the kitchen, yeah.
because it's kind of the heart of the home, isn't it?
Well, it is for sure, for sure.
So yeah, color there is super important.
So let's start with a trend that we've been seeing everywhere.
Okay.
Warm neutrals and earth tones.
Oh yeah, love those.
I know, right? Like those creamy whites and sandy taupes and like,
Those browns everybody's loving these days.
yes, and then the ever-popular greige.
Oh, greige, of course.
Like the perfect blend of
Yeah.
gray and beige.
The best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds.
It's interesting because this whole trend really ties into something called biophilic design.
Oh, tell me more.
It's all about connecting our indoor spaces with nature
Okay.
and bringing in elements of the natural world.
Oh, love that.
And these colors really, they do that,
They totally do.
like on a visual level, but they also have a really like calming, grounding effect.
It's like bringing the outdoors in.
Exactly. It's like bringing the outdoors in.
That's so cool. I mean, I always loved these colors, but I never really like thought about the psychology behind it.
There's actual science behind it.
That makes sense.
Right.
But I'm curious, like, how do you keep a kitchen with these colors from feeling too bland?
That's a good question.
I mean, I love the idea of a serene space, but I also want it to have some personality, you know?
Right. You don't want it to be boring.
Exactly.
So it's all about finding that balance between serenity and visual interest.
Okay. I like that.
And one way to do that is to introduce contrast.
Contrast. Okay.
So think about like matte black hardware against those creamy white cabinets.
Oh, I love that.
Or vibrant green plants, that really pop against that kind of warm, neutral backdrop.
Yeah, those pops of color would look great.
It's about layering textures and pops of color strategically
Yeah.
to keep things interesting.
I like that a lot. All right, so let's move on to a trend that's a little bit bolder.
Oh, okay. Bring on the bold.
Two-tone cabinets.
Oh, yeah. Two-tone cabinets are everywhere.
I'm seeing them everywhere, and I have to admit, I kind of love them.
Me too. It's a really fun trend.
It's like you can experiment with a bolder color without committing to like painting your entire kitchen, you know?
Right. It's a good way to test the waters.
Exactly.
And, it breaks up the monotony, especially in kitchens with a lot of cabinetry.
It does.
And it just allows for so much creativity.
So how do you make sure that the two tones work together?
That's a good question.
It seems like it could easily go wrong.
It definitely could
Yeah.
if you're not careful.
Yeah.
One of the key principles is visual weight.
Okay, visually.
So you want to ground the space by using a darker or more saturated color on the lower cabinets,
Okay.
and then use a lighter shade on the upper cabinets to create a sense of airiness.
So it's like dark on the bottom, light on the top.
Exactly. And this not only creates visual balance, but it also makes the kitchen feel more spacious,
Oh, that's a good tip.
especially if you have lower ceilings.
All right.
It makes the ceilings feel higher.
Love that.
Mhm.
So let's talk about a trend that's a little more dramatic. Moody blues and greens.
Ooh, I love moody colors.
I do too. And I'm seeing them a lot in kitchens lately.
Me too.
I'm talking about those like deep saturated hues like teal or hunter green or like a slate blue.
They're so chic and sophisticated,
They really are.
especially when you pair them with like metallic accents like brass or copper.
Oh, I can picture it now.
Right.
I love that. But I also wonder, like, are these colors too much for a smaller kitchen?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They can be quite powerful.
Yeah.
So if you're working with a smaller space,
Or if you're just hesitant.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can always incorporate them in smaller doses.
Okay. I like that.
Like maybe use them on an accent wall or the backsplash or even just the island.
So you don't have to do the whole kitchen.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to a trend that's often described as sleek and modern,
What's that?
monochromatic gray.
Monochromatic gray. Interesting.
I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
Isn't that a bit boring? But trust me, it's anything but.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, so it's all about layering different shades of gray.
Okay, so like a more nuanced approach.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like from the cabinets to the walls to the backsplash.
Oh, I see.
And it's a really sophisticated approach that works beautifully with minimalist design aesthetics.
I can see that.
Right.
It's very like sleek and chic.
It is.
Uh,
But wouldn't a completely gray kitchen feel a little cold?
That's a good question. And that's where texture comes in.
Okay, texture.
Texture is key here.
So how do you bring in texture with a monochromatic palette?
We'll think about sleek, matte gray cabinets paired with a shimmering, textured backsplash.
Ooh, I like that contrast.
And maybe some open shelving with warm wood accents.
Oh, that would warm it up for sure.
It's all about introducing a variety of textures and materials to prevent that kind of flat, sterile feel.
So it's like you're playing with the finishes.
Exactly.
Matte and gloss and all of that.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's move on to a classic combo that never seems to go out of style, black and white.
The classic black and white.
I know, right? It's timeless. It's versatile, and it works with pretty much any design aesthetic.
You can dress it up or dress it down.
Exactly.
It's like a chameleon.
It really is.
You know, you can do like a crisp modern look or a cozy farmhouse feel or even like a dramatic Art Deco inspired space.
Oh, with black and white.
All black and white. And don't forget metallic accents.
Oh, yeah.
Like brushed nickel or gold or even copper.
That would look so good.
It adds a touch of elegance and sophistication.
It really does. But I feel like there's a fine line between chic and cave-like.
There is a fine line.
When you're working with so much black.
You don't want it to feel too dark and heavy.
No, definitely not.
So it's all about balancing those dark and light elements.
Okay, how do you do that?
Well, natural light is your best friend in a black and white kitchen.
That makes sense.
So if you have big windows, embrace them.
If you've got it, flaunted it.
Exactly. But even if your kitchen is a bit light challenge, you can create a sense of brightness with strategic artificial lighting.
Okay, how do you do that?
Well, think about layering your lighting.
Layering.
So overhead lighting for general illumination.
Okay.
Under cabinet lighting for task lighting. And then maybe even some accent lighting to highlight certain areas.
I love that it's like creating a symphony of light.
It is.
In your kitchen.
It's a symphony of light.
I love that.
Yeah, to brighten things up and make it feel more inviting.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already.
Yeah.
But there are even more exciting color trends to explore.
Oh, there's so much more.
So stay tuned because we're just getting started.
We're just getting warmed up. And speaking of creating a sense of brightness, let's talk about a color palette that's known for its light and airy feel, soft pastels.
Oh, I love pastels.
Think about those gentle shades of mint green or powder blue or even a blush pink.
They're so pretty and I feel like they can really like brighten up a space.
They absolutely can. And they also bring a sense of like playfulness and whimsy to the kitchen.
It's like stepping into a vintage bakery or something.
You hit the nail on the head. I think pastels really tack into our sense of nostalgia and they evoke that kind of like vintage chic aesthetic.
So charming.
It is. And here's a bonus for those of you with smaller kitchens. Pastels actually reflect light really well.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Which can make the space feel larger and more open.
So pastels can actually make your kitchen look bigger.
Exactly. It's like a little design secret.
I love it. But I'm also thinking that like a full-on pastel kitchen might not be for everyone.
You're right. It's a pretty bold choice.
It is. So what would you suggest for people who want to like incorporate pastels in a more subtle way?
You can always use them as accent colors.
Okay, accent color.
Like maybe a soft mint green backsplash paired with crisp white cabinets.
I love that.
Or you could do like a few blush pink bar stools at a neutral island.
Oh, that's cute.
It's all about finding those little touches that bring a sense of delight and personality to the space.
I love that. Okay, so let's move on to a trend that's perfect for nature lovers.
Okay, let's hear it.
Greens inspired by nature.
Oh, I love this trend.
It's so calming and serene.
It is, and it really speaks to our desire to bring the outdoors in, you know?
Right, like we were talking about with biophilic design.
Exactly. It's all about connecting with nature, even in our indoor spaces.
And green is just such a versatile color.
You can pair it with so many different things.
What are some of your favorite ways to use green in the kitchen?
Well, I love pairing it with natural materials like wood and stone.
Oh yeah, that would look great.
It creates a really organic and earthy feel.
I love that. What about specific shades of green?
Oh, there are so many beautiful options
Yeah.
like sage green, olive green, eucalyptus.
Oh, those are all so pretty.
They're all very muted and earthy, and they create a really calming and relaxing vibe.
Do you have any tips for like really maximizing that natural organic feel?
Bring in the real deal.
What do you mean?
Plants.
Plants?
And
Okay.
add some potted herbs on your windowsill or a collection of succulents on the counter.
Or even like a hanging planter with trailing vines.
Exactly. It's all about bringing in those living elements.
So it's not just about the color, it's about the actual greenery.
Exactly. It adds life and texture, and it just makes the space feel more vibrant.
I love that it's like creating your own little indoor garden.
It is, and you get the added bonus of fresh herbs for cooking.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a color palette that evokes warmth and rustic charm.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Earthy terracotta and clay tones.
Oh, I love those warm, earthy colors.
Think burnt oranges, rusty reds.
Those rich clay-like hues.
They're so beautiful, and they have this, like, timeless quality to them.
They do. They've been popular for centuries, and they always seem to come back around.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they bring a sense of warmth and history and connection to the earth.
It's bringing a little bit of the outdoors in.
Exactly. And they work beautifully in kitchens with a rustic or Mediterranean aesthetic,
I can see that.
especially when you pair them with natural materials like wood and stone.
Oh, yeah. That would be gorgeous. Like a terracotta backsplash with rustic wood beams.
And a wrought iron chandelier.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's like stepping into a Tuscan farmhouse.
It really does. But I'm also thinking, like, these colors can be a bit intense.
They can be.
So how do you prevent a kitchen with these colors from feeling too dark or dated?
Balance is key.
Okay, balance.
You want to make sure you're incorporating lighter elements as well.
Like what?
So if you have terracotta colored cabinets, for example, you might pair them with lighter countertops
Okay.
or a neutral backsplash.
So it's not all terracotta all the time.
Exactly. You want to break it up and create some contrast.
Okay, that makes sense. You could also bring in lighter accents.
Right, like cream-colored dish towels or white ceramic canisters.
That would look nice.
It helps to lighten up the space and prevent it from feeling too heavy.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot where the colors complement each other.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about color palettes, but there's another element that's crucial in kitchen design:
What's that?
lighting.
Oh, lighting is so important.
It really is. It can make or break a space.
Absolutely. You can have the most beautiful color palette in the world, but if the lighting is bad, it won't matter.
Right, it'll just fall flat.
Exactly. So you really want to think about how you're going to light your kitchen.
And how does lighting play into the color palette?
Well, different types of lighting can enhance or detract from certain colors.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you want to make sure that your lighting complements your color choices.
So what are some tips for good kitchen lighting?
Well, one of the most important things is to layer your lighting.
Okay, layering lighting.
So you want to have a mix of ambient task and accent lighting.
What are those?
Ambient lighting is your general overhead lighting.
Okay.
It provides overall illumination for the space.
Got it.
Task lighting is more focused lighting that's designed for specific tasks like cooking or prepping food.
Okay.
So you might have under cabinet lighting to illuminate your countertops or pendant lights over an island.
That makes sense.
And then accent lighting is used to highlight certain features or create a mood.
Like what?
You might use accent lighting to showcase artwork or architectural details,
That's a good idea.
or to create a warm and inviting atmosphere in the evenings.
It's like creating a symphony of light in your kitchen.
Exactly. It's all about layering different types of lighting to create a balanced and functional space.
I love that. Okay, so before we move on to our final thoughts and takeaways for our listeners, I want to emphasize something we touched on earlier: the importance of personal style.
Yes. At the end of the day, your kitchen should reflect your unique taste and make you feel happy every time you step inside.
I love that it's not just about following trends, it's about creating a space that feels authentic and personal.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment with different colors, textures, and materials until you find a combination that truly speaks to you.
So we've talked about paint colors, but don't forget about all the other elements in your kitchen.
Yeah, like the backsplash countertops hardware,
All of
even your accessories.
It's like you can weave your color palette into all those little details.
Right, and those details can make a big difference.
They really can.
Like imagine a backsplash with these like beautiful handcrafted tiles
Oh, yeah.
that pick up on the colors in your cabinet.
I love that.
Or cabinet hardware that, adds a touch of glamour or a little whimsy.
Yeah, and even something as simple as a colorful rug
Oh, yeah.
can tie the whole look together.
It's all about those layers.
Yes, all about the layer.
And those little details that make it feel really cohesive and well designed.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into kitchen color palettes,
We hope you're feeling inspired
I hope so too.
to maybe, Give your kitchen a little refresh.
Yeah, maybe try a new color.
Maybe a little color.
And remember, color is a powerful tool.
It really is.
You can use it to express your personality
Create a certain mood.
and really make your kitchen feel like home.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right?
Making it your own.
Making it your own, making it a space that you love.
And with so many amazing color trends out there, there's definitely a perfect palette for everyone.
Absolutely. There's something for every style and every taste.
So as you embark on your kitchen color journey, we want to leave you with this thought.
What color story will you choose for the heart of your home?
That's a wrap on our deep dive into kitchen color palettes. Thanks for joining us.
And happy decorating, everyone!